Hello, friends, and welcome to the Garden Years. I've been out of pocket for a little while due to some family emergencies and some caregiving responsibilities. So I had to take a break. And I want you to understand that there's nothing wrong with ever taking a break. So if you need a break, take a break. And you'll come back rejuvenated and ready to serve again. With my break, I had a lot of caregiving responsibilities. And so some of that I'm going to share with these videos based on caregiving. So I should have 4 coming. This is the first of the 4. There are seasons in life that no one prepares you for. One day you're planning vacations, tending your garden, and living an ordinary life, then almost without warning, someone you love become ill. Suddenly, your days are filled with doctor's appointments, emergency rooms, waiting rooms, medications, phone calls, paperwork, hope, disappointment, and prayers whispered under your breath. You have become a caregiver. This series isn't about medical advice. It isn't about doing caregiving perfectly. It's about finding words for experiences many of us live but struggle to describe. If you're in your caregiving season, I hope you feel seen, understood, and a little less alone. Here is a part of my story. It was a summer night, warm outside, but in that ER waiting room, I was cold down to my bones. We gave them the insurance information, then we waited. They called us back to a room and we waited for a nurse to come take vitals. We finished and we were moved to another room and we waited for another nurse. Then we waited for a doctor. Then a tech came and drew blood and we waited. Then someone came with x-rays to carry out x-rays and we waited. Somewhere in the middle of all this waiting, my patience started to wear thin. And right about the time I felt it slipping, I called a friend. Hadn't planned to. It was obviously by mistake. But it happened. Her voice had a calm in it that I didn't have left in me. She offered up a prayer right there over the phone, and something in me settled. I noticed that same thing with staff that night. Every time my patience was running low, someone, a nurse, a tech, somebody showed up with exactly the kind of patience I was running out of. Funny how that works. What you need has a way of showing up right when you need it and not a minute before. Then we waited for what felt like hours. It was into the next day, and we were waiting for the results to come back. By the time they finally came, we were relieved. We were worn out. We were worn out by waiting. No one tells you that about caregiving. Not the appointments themselves, the waiting between them, room to room to room. Each one asking you to sit back down and not know a little longer. I've come to believe waiting isn't empty. It just doesn't look like anything. From the outside, you're just sitting there, but inside, you're doing something, bracing, praying, replaying hope the next day that will bring you good news. That night, I sat in room after room and thought I was just waiting. Looking back, I was working the whole time. My body was still, but nothing else was. I've started calling that anticipatory stress because it is. It costs nothing, even when it looks like nothing. There's also a difference between waiting alone and waiting with someone. I was in the room, but I wasn't alone in the waiting. Not really. A phone call carried someone else's calm into that room when mine had run out. I've learned that waiting doesn't always ask you to be strong by yourself. Sometimes it just asks you to reach for the phone. I don't think this is the hardest part of the night was the ER itself. It was not knowing, stretched over hours and hours and room for room. You don't have to handle it well. Sitting there worn out doesn't mean you did it wrong. It means you were carrying something heavy, and it was very heavy. I've learned waiting shows you exactly where your control ends. You can love, you can show out, and you can stay in the room. I also learned that not everyone waits the same way. Some of us are quiet. Some of us reach out. Some of us needs a friend's prayer over the phone or a stranger's patience at just the right moment. There's no wrong way to wait. Only the way that gets you through that particular room and that particular night. And when you've done all of that, when you've sat in every room they used to sit in, there comes a point where your hands are just empty. Not because you gave up, because you ran out of things only you could do. That's not failure. That's the edge of what yours is to carry. What's left belonged to God. And I've come to believe He doesn't wait for you to hand it over neatly. He's already holding it, even while you're still sitting there, worn out, cold, and waiting. For me, some nights that looked like nothing more than staying quiet long enough to remember I wasn't the only one in the room. My friends, I hope this proved to be helpful. I want to offer you a blessing. May you find a moment of peace in the next waiting room you sit in. May you trust that even delayed answers don't waste the love poured out getting there. May you sense God sitting with you, not just after the results come, but in the room, in the cold, while you're still waiting. May what you need come when you need it. Yes. Gardeners, keep tending your garden, even in the waiting. Thank you, and please describe this channel to other people so that they can join us in our community. And please share your like. Thank you. Goodbye.